There it is. Well, I made it. I'm here. First trip this year. Now, one of the first things I have to do is walk around the tent, make sure there's no holes, no animals have ripped their way in. And then what I'll do is I'll stick my head in and I'll say hello and see if there's anything staying in there. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Okay. Well, right on. So that's good. No holes. And that's always a concern. I come out here and, or even when I'm at home, just thinking about this place, I'm always thinking to myself, has a wolverine gotten in? Has a bear gotten in? You know, there's probably a good chance mice have gotten into the tent, but that's to be expected. But something big that can damage the tent, that's what I'm most concerned about. And yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks like there's no damage and no wind damage either, which is great too, because there's been some really strong winds. So now's the time. Whoa! I knew there was going to be lots of little bugs. And there definitely are. Might be a nest of houseflies in there. Let's see how bad it is. Oh my gosh, it looks great. Look at that. They're all over the place. So here's everything I brought. Little foam pad with, so that's the foam pad there. That's the wool blanket I'm going to use. And just a sheet. Food that I'm keeping cool that I'm going to eat this evening. I have some dry food here in a dry bag. I have some clothes. I have a mosquito jacket. Shoes. Just like little slipper things I can wear. A first aid kit. Leatherman. Little handsaw. Fishing rod, gloves, a light, toilet paper, wipes, camera gear, battery charger, my knife, bear spray, critical, fly spray, critical, thermocell that I'm going to turn on momentarily, pots, some water, bear horn, and then my backpack itself, plus the camera I have in my hand, my tripod, and my kayak paddle. So it might seem like a bit of overkill, but I am thinking maybe I'll be here for a few days. So I brought a lot, and everything combined, I'm thinking it was probably around 70 pounds. And I had to hike for like 35-40 minutes. Jump in a canoe, go through a small lake, takes about 15 minutes to canoe. Portage, bring the canoe over, go back, get the heavy backpack, bring that, jump in the canoe. And then canoeing this lake takes about 30-ish minutes, I guess. That's what it took me today anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this around the door and maybe just send a message to mosquitoes that, hey, I've got citronella and I know you don't like it, so let's have a listen. There it goes. Have a listen. So let's see if that scares them away a bit. I'll just set it down here. So what I have here is what I like to call a fire pod. Essentially, it's a fire pod. it's a little bit. It's like a little egg carton, little compartment there. What do I call this? Like a section of an egg carton, and I have some wax in there that I melted and poured in, and then I dipped in some lint. And I love using lint to start a fire. I find it just catches right away. And I predict, first strike with my knife, this is going to light. Here goes. First strike. I got to get a good strike or else I'm going to look like a fool. Oh yeah, first strike. Look at that. Okay. That's going to burn for a while. But I'm not going to waste too much time here. Some old brush left over from trees that I harvested in the winter. That has been going for about 45 seconds. Look how crazy that is. One strike, boom. Well, this has been a long time coming for sure. I haven't eaten in about 8 or 9 hours. It's 8:30 at night now. I came straight after work to the tent. I do that sometimes. It's something I like to do on a Friday. I get off work and I just hustle it out here, knowing that I'm going to have a late supper. So this is definitely going to keep me full for the night. See what we got there? Oh man, it looks good. But it does need salt and pepper. Just a touch. Yeah. I have a feeling this is going to be hot. Oh man. I don't even know if I can eat all. This is a lot of food. And I don't want to be keeping food like this, so much odor around my tent. Yes, I am going to hang my food tonight. But onions, I have a feeling if I was to close this up and to put it in a bag, toss it over a tree, I would definitely invite something because, I mean, onions, right? Onions smell strong. Sausage. So, maybe I'll eat it all. Oh my God. That is ripping hot. Oh man. Burnt my mouth on that one. But it's very good. Let it cool down for a bit. Supper. Let's see. I don't even know if I have enough rope for this. Not very much. Whew. So there's definitely something in the tent. And you can see these little piles here. in the spruce, the old spruce. And I feel like it's either spruce bug, like some sort of like beetle or something, or termites maybe, or ants. I'm not sure. All I know is I can hear them. They're going to town. They're having a feast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear these logs out and I'm going to sweep this all out. Whatever it is likes to eat wood. It's not supposed to be too cold tonight, like 10 degrees. So the warmest night I've ever had in this tent for sure. And I was gonna double it up, but nah. There we go. Okay. Looks good. The only reason I don't want this thing touching the floor is because there's quite a few spiders on the floor and they might want to come up and pay me a visit tonight. Get the wool blanket here. Yeah. Plenty. This is perfect. This is it for tonight. I'm getting ready to tuck in. Tomorrow's Saturday. It's supposed to rain early, like 3 a.m. Should start to get light around then. They're calling for some lightning potentially, so I don't know if I believe that because they call for lightning around here all the time and it never happens, so we will see. But yeah, interesting evening. Is my face like fluttering? Are you guys seeing like lines on my face? Because this light that I have shining in my face works at a different frequency than what I have set up here on the camera. So sometimes you get these weird lines. You are not seeing things. This is what this light does. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning. I slept with this mosquito mesh on my face last night. I put it on probably around, I don't know, 4 a.m. because the mosquitoes were going pretty mad in here for a bit, buzzing around my ears. I put on this little mosquito mesh and I felt a lot better right away. So it's 9 now, so that was 5 hours ago. I didn't have the greatest sleep. You know, I watch a lot of YouTube and I see guys, I'll take this off. I see bushcrafters with their wool blankets and I think, man, that's awesome, wool blankets. That's all you need is a wool blanket. All these tough guys out there just camping, like exposed underneath of a tarp with a wool blanket. And sleeping bags are way better, I can tell you that. It wasn't freezing here last night. I mean, not super warm. It got down to maybe 10 degrees Celsius, maybe a bit below that. And this thing, my back's cold all night. Just a cold back, no matter what I did. And this, I got like a little pad here. That thing's worth nothing. This sheet, there's no heat coming out of this sheet, that's for sure. So yeah, either I'm too wimpy, you know, to be using just a single wool blanket, or those bushcraft YouTuber guys are nuts. Anyway, I might, as I'm going to stay tonight as well, I might get that stove going. Pea bucket. Everything is soaked. It absolutely poured last night. That's another reason why I stayed awake for a bit. Yeah, mosquitoes are wicked this morning. I always have my bear spray with me. Always. There's been a lot of bears and there's a lot of mosquitoes, that's for sure. There's been a lot of bears in my community this year. There's been 6 bears spotted. 2 of them had to be put down. Coming right into the community, going after garbage. Once they're used to eating human food, that's it, and they're not afraid of humans coming into a city, you have no choice but to put them down. And it's sad, but that's the reality. The ENR officers, the Environment and Natural Resources Wildlife Officers, whatever you want to call them, they say that, you know, you can trank a bear and you can take it hundreds of kilometers away from a community, but it'll always find its way back because it's just looking for that easy food, that easy get, and it'll just find its way back. And once they're used to being around humans and they're not afraid of humans, that's an issue. Out here, I mean, I'm 25, maybe 25 kilometers away from my town. I have a feeling they're not going to be so used to humans, so that would be a good thing for me. If they saw me, they'd probably take off. But I have the bear spray and the bear horn, and I always have the bear spray on me. The bear horn, not always, but it's a nice level of protection. I believe in this stuff. I don't know if you guys watch Alone, the show on the History Channel. It's amazing. I love that show. And there was an encounter recently, a guy by the name of Clay. He had a grizzly bear charge at him, and he had some of this stuff, might even be the exact same brand, and he took a shot at that grizzly bear, and that thing took off. And the bear wanted his food, that's for sure, or wanted him. So yeah, I feel good. I feel good with this stuff. This is all the water I have left for the next 24 hours. It's a liter. It's not very much. The lake water, I'm not so sure. Do I want to drink that lake water? Now, in the Northwest Territories, where I live in the Northwest Territories, there's a bit of an arsenic issue due to the gold mining that happened here years ago. Because of the pollution that came from mining the gold. Some lakes have arsenic in them, and it's not recommended to swim, fish, or drink the water. Now they have levels for these lakes. They have like green, which is good, yellow, which is okay, and then I think it goes like orange and red. Essentially, if you're a red lake or a purple lake or whatever it is, do not do anything in that lake. Do not drink any of the water. Do not swim there. Do not wash your dishes there. Do not brush your teeth there. Do not eat the berries that grow around there. My lake is so close to green that the government says I can drink, I can swim, and I can fish in this lake. But there's still a part of me that's like nervous. Just lake water itself. Do I want to be drinking lake water? It's a big lake, so I'm not worried about like Is beaver fever a thing? I don't know. That sounds like something a lake might have. So I don't want that. There's a guy who lives on the lake, and I've messaged him. The signal out here is brutal. Some things are getting through and some things are not, in terms of like text messages. And I've messaged him and I've asked, do you drink the water? I just want to be sure. You drink the water? I feel like he might, because it's so close to being green and the government says it is safe. But I want to be sure before I take a gulp. Meantime, I've got a liter left of this water, natural spring water. And my plan was, I've got some dehydrated food that I was going to cook for supper. That takes 2 cups of water. And I've got oatmeal. That takes water. And I've got pancake mix. And that takes water. Essentially, that's the rest of my water. I've got nothing left to drink. So that's not good. That's not what I want. And the reason why I'm limited in water, I brought this plus an Nalgene bottle, which is a liter. And I was so thirsty when I got here last night. I mean, just parched because of the walk and the warmth, the hike, that I did drink quite a bit. I had a coffee last night. Maybe I didn't need that coffee last night. I made the rice. The rice required some water. So I only took this much because I'm backpacking. Water is like the heaviest thing you can backpack with. So I brought out 2.5 liters plus everything else that I brought with me. So lesson learned. I think what I'm going to do this winter is, near the end of the winter, I'm going to start bringing out cases of water and just stashing them here. So that way, if I do come out in the summertime, I'll just have cases of water to use. Hopefully this guy who lives on the lake gets back to me soon. Now what I've decided to do is something that I just started really getting into this summer. And when I say just started getting into the summer, it means I've done it twice. I'm going to see if I can catch a fish. Last night, the fish, I know there's fish in this lake. I know a guy who used to have a tent on this lake. He struggled fishing. I don't think he caught very much. But I heard the fish jumping like mad last night in the lake. And I believe there are pike. Now this little fishing rod here is a gift from my daughters a couple of years ago. They were like, hey, here's a fishing rod. It's not very strong. It's only like a 6 to 12 pound line on this. And it's just like one of these even Jay can do it fishing reels. Just like, I think, press the button and let it go and then reel it back in. And they gave me this little fishing kit too. It's got a couple of lures in there. So I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try to fish for breakfast. That way I'm not going to use any water. I think I got a weed. I either have a weed or a fish. I think I might have a fish. Yeah. Oh, I don't have a fish. Look at the size of this weed. Holy cow. Fun though. Not catching any fish, but it's fun. I think I'm gonna have to make myself some oatmeal here. Maybe a dehydrated lasagna. Maybe I'll do that. This one here is good till April 2026. This is the pad thai. 2 cups of water. Man, 2 cups of water. It's like a half a liter, right? 2 cups of 250 milliliters in a cup. I've only got a liter left. All of my food calls for water. Except for I got a couple of Cliff Bars that might save my life. Okay. Man, I wish I knew if I could drink out of that lake. I've got a plan. I'm gonna catch water. It's starting to drizzle a bit, and I think I can get a few drops into this pot. Right underneath of this little grommet right here. There's a grommet right here. I'm gonna angle this so it just drips down from this grommet straight in to the pot. Pour it all in. It's good. Now I'm going to pour half of it back. Not very much food, folks. 330 calories. And that might not be enough water, but if it's a bit dry, it's not the end of the world. As good as it's getting. It's pretty hot still. That's great. Look at that. Oh, baby. Calories. I'm going to want to lick this. Whoa, that's got bite. So I can tell already that it needed more water. It's pretty intense. It needs to be diluted a bit more. But I'll be a man. Spoke to the guy who lives on the lake, and he said yes, they drink from the lake, and they had it tested, and it just meets the requirement to be able to drink, so it doesn't have too much arsenic in it. He says you shouldn't drink it all the time though, and they spend a lot of time up here in the winter, and they melt snow, which is what I would be doing right now too if I ran out of water. So he says yes, you can drink out of it, but this time of year, he said it's got a pretty nasty taste, and he believes it's because of the algae in the water. So, but still drinkable. So he also said, like, his stomach is made for this stuff now. He's a man of the land, to say the least, and he said he drinks from lake water, directly from the lake, wherever he goes. So he's got an iron gut, I guess you could say. I don't know if I do, but I think I'm gonna chance it. I'm gonna get a little pot of water. I'm gonna boil it. He says he doesn't boil, and then I'm gonna make myself a cup of coffee. And if I vomit all night long, it'll make for an interesting video. I'll hate myself for doing this, but you guys will be entertained, that's for sure. Looks pretty clean. I have a bit of a superpower too. I don't have the greatest sense of taste. So if it tastes like algae, I'm not even gonna know. Okay, that boiled for about 15-20 minutes. It's got a little bit of ash in it, just a touch. There goes. It's a little bit brown. Oh. Doing it. Drinking lake water. Gonna have a macadamia nut bar with it. It boiled for such a long time. If there's any bacteria in it, it's gone. I'm not gonna be able to know if there's an algae flavor to this. Look how dark that is. Woo! It's like mud. Surviving. Surviving. Tastes like really strong coffee. Toughen me up, I suppose. I was just outside burning some old brush and started to pour. Oh, don't stop. I've got a couple of pots out there now gathering some fresh rainwater. Oh yeah. Just want it to rain for about an hour. Then after that, my plan is to get this guy going because it's too damp. I'm quite damp now, being outside in the rain for a bit. It's only 10 degrees in here Celsius. So yeah, I just gotta hook it up. You can see it's not. Well, I just had a nap for about an hour or so. It's still raining out. I wanted it just to pour for like 20 minutes, like a downpour, and then stop. But that's not what has happened. So I want to get that stove going. I got a bit of a chill. There's just like a dampness about me. So I'm going to go out there and check on those pots. I'm really hopeful that there's enough water in them now to get me through the next 24 hours or so. Well, I got some water. I would say that's enough for boiling my supper. Definitely enough for making pancakes. And enough for a coffee. Let's see. There's some sediment in there. That's what I'm calling it. Yeah, not bad. I got a pot. Got a pot of water. So I've decided I'm going to filter out that water just to get rid of all those little bits of leaves or whatever else is in there. I'm just going to use a shirt that I don't intend on wearing. Let's see how much water I have. I think I have close to an Nalgene bottle worth here. Let's see. Oh yeah, not bad. Look at that. That is clean. Oh, baby. Yes. I got, what do I have here? 900 milliliters. It's almost a liter. Right on. I don't have proper tools to drill into this wood to make my little makeshift ladder. But last year when I burned all of those pallets, there were some nails. Some of them are useless. Okay. All right. One more. You guys see that? Oh, those nails were barely in. Not good. Shoot. Okay, let's try that again. I was smart enough to know to hold on to that tree, just in case. Oh boy. I've got these 4 nails here that I just took from the old lumber that I used for my first tent here on this location. And I'm going to burn that old stuff pretty soon. But there's nails in there, and these nails are strong. One each side, I think will do it. The nails went through, but for this little job it's fine. I trust it now. I fully trust it. Okay, yeah. Not high enough. This is where it gets crazy. If it breaks, I'm hanging on to the tent. Come on, baby. Get your move. Oh, yeah. I'm going to put a bit of salt in this. I like a good bit of salt. Rainwater. Now I'm going to just load it up with chocolate chips. Like that many. Oh yeah. dessert for supper. Look at that. That's going to be amazing. Especially once it expands. Not bad, I would say. Fell apart a little bit. But that's going to be delicious. Oh yeah, just a little bit of burn, but that's okay. No butter and no maple syrup. Just going to let the chocolate do the work. Very good. Delicious. Delicious. And super hot. Might as well have a little fire. And let's see, it might be too hot for me, but hopefully not. I think I'll go with one of these pods. Now I've got some green wood outside, which is great because that will burn slowly tonight and not too hot. And when I say green, I mean just like not super dry. Okay. Let's see how this thing works in 10 degrees Celsius. I'm going to close this down. Here goes. Kept the fire going all night, and I'm glad I did. I had it just a bunch of coals in there, and I closed it all the way off like this, shut it down, and it just simmered. I'm gonna have a cup of coffee, and I'm gonna do something different today. I'm gonna put because the stove's not hot enough to boil water right now. If I was to put it on top, I mean it's just warm. I don't have propane here, so I'm going to throw this directly into the stove. Let's see how that works out. This is the rest of my water for the trip right here. So I'm not going to eat anything this morning. I'll be on an empty stomach till I get home, so a few hours, which isn't the end of the world. But water, I think, is more important right now. but coffee's most important for me. Let's see here. This is different for me. Give you guys a view. It's gonna go like that. That should work, eh? I'm going to leave my rope right there, so that way when I come back next time in the summer or in the fall, just right there, good to go. Okay, I got a plan. This is ridiculously hot here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move all of these coals out of here because that's going to burn for a while yet, and I want to get this chimney off before I go. So I'm going to take them and I'm going to bring them to my fire pit, and then I'm going to dump a bucket of water on it. And then I can go. Look at the heat coming off of that. And the smoke. That's hot. Look, burnt that wood, it's so hot. Of course I wasn't rolling when I poured the water on, but you can see she's out. I think there's still lots of heat in those rocks from last night. What an amazing weekend, 3 days out here. It's like 11 or 12 o'clock now, and I'm heading back, and I had an absolutely wonderful trip out here, like unbelievably great trip. It was just so beautiful to be out here, to challenge myself a little bit. And one thing I really loved was that I felt really comfortable out here. And I think about bears a lot before I come out here, and then when I get out here, it's like I'm at home. It's really, it's an amazing feeling. And I just know that if I get off my lazy butt and come out here during the summer a few times, I could probably make some pretty awesome videos and get a great experience out of it at the same time, like getting my own rainwater and building myself a little ladder that's gonna fall apart while I'm using it. And just having some good food, tidying up a bit, getting used to being in the canoe, which I didn't film, but that stuff, if you want to watch canoe videos, there's a ton of canoe videos online. This really is about the tent shack, and there's no place like it on earth. There really isn't. This is the only one like this, and I'm so glad that I get to bring you guys to it, and even more so now that I did it in the summer. So maybe, no promises. I've learned to stop making promises on YouTube because anything can happen. But maybe I'll get out here by the end of September a little fall trip, and then it's winter. I mean, 4 months from now it's Christmas time, guys. Hey, that's when I'm out here. That's prime time for being out here. So anyway, made my own rainwater. That's like my accomplishment. Cheers. See you guys really soon.